later. Thank you.
Questions?
Okay. We can do it around. Sure.
Thanks, Viviana. So before we move on, we're a little ahead of schedule because during the welcomes and introduction part of the day, we were going to go around the room just so everyone can introduce themselves, but held off a bit because a few people might have arrived since then. So we can do that now before we move on to Aaron's presentation. Lisa has a mic there. I don't know if we really need it, but let's hand it around. Yeah. Start down there. Just your name and where you are on your agriculture journey, that type of thing.
My name is Ian Huzzy. This is my last year, I think, being a young farmer. So I'll be 40 next year, about 10 years into my process. Really struggling to get this composting thing off the ground out in Port Blanford. Been doing it for 2 years now, and I have one household. So we really don't get the municipalities on board. We're wasting our time because I've been wasting my time for 2 years now. I don't know what it's like for other outport communities, but it seems like it's going good for the city area, but nobody wants to hear about it. So unfortunately, but that won't stop me. I'm a part of the Loop program. I don't know if you guys know of Loop Resource. We collect waste groceries from stores, grocery stores, collect every Friday. We're up into, I think, like 20,000 tons diverted from the landfill. And yeah, so I use that to feed my animals, and what I can feed to the animals goes into compost. I just upgraded to a 100-bin worm composting system. I run bees, and most people know me as the bearded beekeeper. My farm is Nutty Pine Farms in Apiary. So we're running 20 hives right now, 40 pigs and 80 chickens. Yeah, doing it for 10 years now, and slowly growing, but it's been a challenge.
Now you got a lot going on there. My name is Tim Walsh. I'm with the Botanical Garden just up the hill here. And, I've always been interested in composting. When the Botanical Garden formed back in the 70s, right from day one, the curator at the time was a naturalist, and he believed in the composting, and we started right from that time. And everything organic at the Botanical Garden is thrown on the compost pile, and it all eventually ends up back into the garden at some point next year, the year after, whatever. And because of that, we had started teaching composting classes on how to successfully compost at home in your backyard. And at some point along the way, the Composting Council of Canada, which I didn't know existed back then, they actually gave us an award for the work we were doing. And then because of that, the city noticed the work we were doing, and they partnered with us in developing and presenting, at the time, about 20 composting education sessions a year at the Botanical Garden, where residents of the city, well, anybody can come to the classes, they're free. But if a resident of City of St. John's attends the class, they then get a discount to purchase from the city when they purchase their own bin. And so we've been teaching over the years thousands of people how to do it better, I should say, more successfully. There's always challenges with it. Viviana mentioned the rats. That's always the big one. I saved that one for the last one in the presentation, because there's no real solution for that other than a closed bin, maybe, than what you use. It's a big, yeah. And so people are moving now to tumblers versus the cone shapes and things. We also recycle all the organic waste from the dining hall on campus. So Memorial Dining Hall, which is fairly significant. So all that material comes to the Botanical Garden, and we use that at the Botanical Garden or at the vegetable garden site down on campus. So, firm believer in compost. I'd love to see it bigger. I'd love to see our municipality getting more involved. And I long for that curbside green bin. And fingers crossed that it'll happen, hopefully before I die. I promise.
Hi, my name is Michael. I'm entirely new to the idea of farming, so yeah, I'm just starting on the journey.
Hi, my name is Jessica. I'm a researcher at MUN, and we're involved in two projects now that we're hoping that maybe composting might be the solution. We have a project where we want to raise worm to feed the aquaculture industry and hopefully not produce something to then produce worm to then feed the industry, but rather just use compost to feed them. Or create compost as a byproduct that has a use. And we have a big project right now that's actually funded by the US, weirdly enough. And it's about managing discards in the fisheries. So there's a huge problem of bycatch in commercial fisheries because all the offal and everything is just discarded behind the boat as they're fishing, right? And because of that, the birds are attracted to it, the tuna, the shark, name it, right? And they all come and then they get caught in the gear. Lots of mortality based on that. So we're interested. I don't know, maybe that's just a feeble dream of mine, but interested to see if those discard could be used to a different purpose than just being released in the water. So that's fine.
Yeah, talking about composting opens all those different doors, and I will say that our projects are, or the projects I have in mind are mostly residential. How we deal with residential and make things accessible. Like backyard composting it's a portfolio, you know. Backyard composting has been promoted for a very long time, but there are people who cannot or don't want to do it. And some people participate in Georgetown, and then the barrier for Georgetown is dropping off. Not everybody can or want to work with. And so how, you know, when we look at organics management, where all the different barriers and possibilities different across, you know, industries and sectors to really do what we need to do with organics.
My name is Amy Williams. I'm part of a group in the Ghouls called Sowing Seeds Growing Community. So we are a completely volunteer-run community garden and farm, and we donate all of our local produce to local food banks and different charitable organizations. We're just starting. This is our second year of operation now, so we're all very new to farming, gardening, composting, all of the above. I started with an organization called Oceanwise as a youth ambassador, and it started as a very small service project, but we are starting to grow now. We operate on a large chunk of farmland that is owned by the Anglican Church in the Ghouls. So we're working on expanding our farm and our composting to the local surrounding area, and hopefully more people will like to participate.
I'm Aaron Rogers. I'm the manager here at the farm. So my presentation, not going to get into it right now, but it's mostly focused on composting with farms. But to Viviana's presentation, I'm originally from the U.S. and I've lived in a couple different places around the world, and I find it incredibly surprising, actually, the lack of organics management here in the province in general. Just considering how progressive so many other parts of the community are here. So I applaud you for the work that you're trying to do. I know it's hard.
Hi, my name is Ugo Uche, and I'm all new to the composting. I'm a strong believer of sustainable farming, and it's something I'm still looking forward to exploring.
My name's Tavish Russell. My partner and I run Farm on Forest. We've been for 4 years working on leased land at the Mount Siowa Savory Farm just up the road, growing vegetables, herbs, and cut flowers for restaurants and florists around the city. We collect all kind of organics from around town wherever we can get our hands on them, make compost. We've tried every method of composting you could think of. And we just bought a farm in the Gould, so we're kind of figuring out how to scale up our compost production for a bigger piece of land now. So that's me.
My name is Alex, and I'm taking over my pop's 50-acre agriculture lease out in Hare Bay. It's called Rainbow Ridge. This is my first year kind of getting involved with farming, and we started trying to make compost this year. And right now it's kind of just like scraps from the house and the farm and such, and we gathered like seaweed and whatever we take off the fields and stuff, we kind of put it all in there. And we also got a bunch of chickens that we were hoping to that would speed up the process, but we had some fatalities, so that's kind of slowed down now. But yeah, we're just getting into it and starting there. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, everybody. It was really interesting to see where everybody is, and we'll move on to Aaron's presentation now. So if I can just get the introduction slide up.